Good evening, everybody. Hope we're all doing well. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. We're halfway through the week. This is your one and only host for Naked Radio, Arian Hart. And you're listening to Sex Talk. Class is now in session. So it's been about a week since I've been here. Last week didn't do a show because we're doing some revamps here at the studio or the station. We will no longer be playing music on Sex Talk Radio. It's not because I don't enjoy listening to music, but it's that we are looking to move to iHeartRadio soon. So, and I don't own the rights to any of those songs. And until I get a special license to play certain music, I am going to take music out of the show. I believe that more people need to be in the conversation, in healthy conversation when it comes to sex, because a lot of people actually don't have healthy conversation when it comes to sex. Even as adults, we still cringe when certain topics about sex come into play. So, here on Naked Radio on Sex Talk Wednesday nights, every Wednesday at 11:30, you will catch me, Arian Hart, here talking about sex. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Downlow Pandemic. It is a virus that is spreading across the world. Actually, it's been around for a while, but something I guess it's something I really wanted to talk about because a lot of people say that the Orlando shooter was gay, or he was living a down low lifestyle, and there's been claims coming out that one of the reasons why he shot shit up was because he was rejected, different things like that. But either rate, self-hate is real. And a lot of people who are living this down low life are in some form of self-hatred, because a lot of them have ended up, they'll get with somebody or a woman knowing she used to be a man. They'll know. And then when they are afraid of being outed, they'll end up killing this transgender woman, which is crazy as hell, bro. You don't do no shit like that. That is just insane to be checking lives over dumb shit like that. But at any rate, a lot of girls, you look at your guys and you be like, my man is so manly. He's so macho. He's so masculine. He's such a man. And in your mind, that doesn't equate to somebody who would have sexual relations with another man. You don't realize that men who have sex with men, don't necessarily have a look. They don't have a type. And when it comes to these men, you're looking at your man and you're thinking, well, because my man is so macho, he's my man, he's not gonna go out there and fuck with no dude. He don't even like faggots. Excuse my language. But that's what I hear girls saying. And I'll be like, me being a person who enjoys, the male company, I've been in the company of a lot of men who, I've been in a lot, I'm not a whore. I've been in the company of men who have children, who have wives and families, They have this entire life outside of what he and I are experiencing. And they want to keep it that way because what he and I are experiencing is something that only he and I can share. And it's wild because, you be like, okay, well, when I was young, I used to just eat that shit up. Word, nigga, you got a girl and you got kids and you want me to bitch you out? Okay, cool. But after a while, as you get older, you realize, like, okay, well, then that's kind of wrong. You got a girl, you got kids, and you want me to bitch you out? Your whole tone changes. And you were like, bruh, come on now. We have to do better. But, and these females, some of these females would be like so blind to that shit that their men are going out here and, like, in your mind, you're like, well, maybe my man is the top. You don't know if your man is the top. Maybe your man is out here on his knees giving the blowjobs. Maybe your man is out here on his knees being the one taking it up the rear. I mean, and it happens. And it happens. It happens so often. And sadly, it happens because when these down low men get into these moments where they want to be sexual with another man, they're not quite thinking about safe sex. Because if I'm not going to talk or communicate about me and you and what we do, I'm not going to take the time to talk and communicate with you about having safe sex with you. Because the only time I communicate with you is when I want something sexual from you. So my safety and your safety is not in mind. I've been there. I grew up in the church, and I grew up in the church, and I used to be self-hating. I used to do things where I would talk junk to other gay people. Oh, you fucking fag this, and you queer-mo that, God hates you. I guess I hated myself so much that I wanted them to feel the pain that I was feeling. I was jealous of the fact that a lot of these guys were comfortable with themselves. And I wanted, I low-key wanted that, but then again I didn't, because, society was telling me being gay was wrong. But then there was a whole society of people, there's a whole group of men, and these are heterosexual men who get together and they believe they are still heterosexual, but as long as they do what they do in secret and they still keep their wives, it's like, well, I'm not gay. I don't love him, so I'm not gay. It's not a real, gay is not real. So when I do it, it's just to bust a nut. And the things they tell themselves so they can sleep at night.
Or they can feel comfortable being around their wife or their girlfriend and kiss their wife or girlfriend when their mouths have been doing many other different things.
Many.
But my view on the DL pandemic is, it's not different, but it's another vantage point. When I came out the closet, I was the guy who primarily messed with DL dudes. I sought these men out, or they sought me out. It was either or. And my only thing was, I didn't mess with anyone who had a girlfriend or had a wife. because I don't want to get caught in no drama. Because my opinion of it is, well, I guess you can call it adultery. Adultery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My opinion of adultery is, if you're gonna do it and you're doing it deceitfully, you're gonna get caught by someone, or by him or her, whoever your mate is. You're gonna get caught. And people tend to get mad at the other person instead of getting mad at their lover. But that's another topic altogether. But I stayed away from men who were involved. And my thought of it was, I guess I felt okay with myself because I knew what I liked and what I wanted. I often did wonder, what are you thinking about on your way home? Are you... I would be asking,
I'm sure the first person they call is their wife. Like
or their friend.
No, the first person they call is their wife. I mean...
Well, see, I've met some guys I've met some guys who met some guys who would share all their sexual experiences with another guy. With another gay guy. Or another DL guy.
Right, DL for DL.
Right. And it was one of those things where they shared it because I guess they compared it, like how now some of the gays will talk about trade, and trade is the same thing as DL, really, in a way. You're
masculine, hyper masculine, passable.
Right. That's trade. But so, I mean, yeah, they talk amongst themselves, and they say, they'll seek out these DL guys, or these guys will seek them out. I almost ended up a part of that community when I was living in Atlanta. Yeah, I know, cliche, gay black male going to Atlanta, messy. But the DL lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle, to be honest with you, or a subculture. Yeah, we can use subculture. The DL subculture is big. The hip hop community is DL subculture. All the hyper masculine things. I'm speaking from a black male perspective. All the hyper masculine and black things. That's DL subculture. That's DL culture. So oftentimes where I always see these women bragging about their men, posting pictures of them on Facebook and everything, there have been moments I've been like, oh wow, I've seen him on a gay Tumblr, or I've seen him on a gay page. Or his pictures have been used already.
Like, I know that nigga gay for sure.
Right.
Like, how you know? Because I know.
Right.
I don't need to tell you all my business to know, but I'm telling you, if you and him ain't talked about his sexuality, when it comes to a lot of relationships, a lot of people in relationships and talk about that. And we're just talking about guys right now. A lot of females are living on the down low too. Let's not sit here and act like women, right? It's a guy thing. Like, women aren't living on the down low. Let's be real here. There are some of you women out there who are married to men who have a secret sexual relationship with women. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we also didn't talk about the thing of how there's bisexual people. There's people who are men and women who want to have bisexual relations or partners.
Right.
And they feel as if they can't, or they
won't communicate it.
Right.
It's only a pandemic because the lack of communication. There are women out there who will be more than interested to enjoy your endeavors while you enjoy your men. There are men out there who would enjoy watching you enjoy your endeavors while you enjoy other women. And it's because of our fear of rejection, our fear of being replaced,
or the societal views of what a married relationship or a committed relationship should be. we still live in a society where it's marriage is between a man and a woman. Yeah, I know everybody can marry now, but we still live in that society where where traditional marriage, quote unquote, is considered the traditional marriage is considered marriage between a man and a woman. Anything else is considered unnatural. Even polygamy, which there are moments where it's men having multiple wives. That's considered unnatural. Or polyamory, where
the relationship itself is full of love.
Right. And those are, who's to say what a married relationship is?
And I can hear somebody saying, now, well, the Bible.
Right.
The Bible said. And the Bible says a lot. But I'm sure you're sitting there wearing your poly cotton blend shirt or nightgown while eating your crab leg or shrimp.
And I'm sure you've had sex before marriage. And I'm sure you lied as well.
So we can't really use that as an argument. But I don't know. So like, I think in order to rid ourselves of this problem, we as adults have to be prepared to face our lovers and communicate our sexual fantasies. That doesn't mean that, just communicating them doesn't mean you're doing it. But I think a good relationship means that I can communicate with you my sexual fantasies as well as everything else I'm supposed to communicate with you. Right. Because I think we in America, we're taught that when you become married, your sexual exploration stops. Mm-hmm. There's a running joke that happens where, when I got married, I stopped getting XYZ. Oh, she stopped giving me head. He stopped beating my coochie. Da 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 da. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke when people say, "Oh, we've been married. Oh, what's sex?"
Now, when you're old and your reproductive organs don't work anymore, then that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
But, yeah, a lot of problems root from lack of communication. Now, however, there are some men who really just want to keep their sexual lives with men secret. There are some men who are going to say, well, it's none of your damn business anyways. And you're right. I shouldn't. It's none of my business to know what you do in the bedroom.
However, if I am dating you,
I need to know.
I need to know what's going on in your bedroom or in any other bedroom that you are in.
Because you're talking about sharing bedrooms in the future.
And I feel like if you're unable to talk to that person's not for you. Even as a sexual partner, just part ways. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just gotta part ways because that person may not be able to understand who you are, period. And if you can't communicate surface level shit when it comes to your sexual stuff, you're not gonna be able to communicate that. And that's gonna cause a lot of problems in your relationship.
And then you'll be doing stuff where you'll be lying, saying you're going out with the boys or you're going out with the girls and going over his house or her house.
Yeah, like the first time I had an experience with someone with AIDS. I'm not even going to say HIV. I'm going to say AIDS. Was when I was 10. There was a girl. She was 20, 21. She was mad young. And she was going to my church. And she had met this guy. He was also going to the church. And we all went to the same church. We all went to the church. My life was for the church. A church, nigga. Sorry. I had a flashback. But my mom told her not to marry him. I guess my mother knew. I'm assuming my mother may have known that, he had been sleeping around. But, he had been sleeping around. He would go out and he would have sex with men. And he would come back and he would have sex with her. Like, apparently he had it. And he knew. and didn't even tell her. Like, I don't even know, but I think, like right after she found out, within a year, she was dead. Like, she gave herself no time. She was gone, and a year later, he was gone. And I was like, maybe, and I understood everybody's anger with him, but going back to church, you have to understand, we were raised in the black church. He was raised in the black church. He was a black man who was taught that homosexuality was an abomination. Actually, homosexuality is a demonic spirit that gets inside you and makes you do unnatural things. So, of course, he didn't feel comfortable talking to anybody there.
Right.
How can a young black man raised in a church who sees something in him as a demon go to the church, who's already condemning him before he even walked in?
Right. That's like with the effemination of the black man. A lot of I don't even want to call them hoteps because they bastardize the name of it. But a lot of pro-black people will say homosexuality is a tool of effemination.
The white man is making us gay.
When homosexuality has been around for ages, there's African kings who have been. There was one who was famous for being bisexual. He had his group of men and he had his group of women, and everybody was just okay with it. Well, mainly because he was the king. You couldn't really say shit about it. But there's many strong figures in history that have been homosexual. There's been, well, through time. Every time you go to a gay pride parade, you always see strong homosexuals.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the ones that look like they're strong, not the ones who are all big and muscly. There's the ones that just come out there. Period. That's strength. There's nothing effeminate about that.
No.
And how dare you exclude someone from being black just because of what you think is their lifestyle?
That happens.
There have been people who have told, there's been conversations I've had where it would be really cool in the moment he finds out my sexuality. Oh, man, I feel sorry for you. What? Why? Because, man, they got to you already. Oh, okay. Well, this conversation's done.
That reminded me, actually reminded me of somebody that we were dating. There was this guy that we were talking to. I would say more than talking. We had been going back and forth with our sexual relationship, for years. And, it eventually got to the point where, he was telling us he loved us, and, we loved him genuinely as a person, as an individual, as a spirit, as a being on this earth. He was loved by us. And his only issue, and he finally said it out his mouth, he was like, I just eventually want to, get my life right because I want to go to heaven, And this was pertaining to a conversation when we were talking to him about us and him, because I'm like, we really don't like to have these kind of relationships where it's just, we're just meeting you when you want something. You're not going to see us then. We have to have something more than that. I don't want to just touch you on your body. And he was like that. Then that was his response to that. So, and I understood. Yes, I was hurt, but I understood in that moment that I was once there in that position, and I felt the same way as him, but only because of what I was being taught, being raised in the black church. Do I feel like I'm doing something wrong? No. Do I feel demonic? No. Am I glad I'm out of that down low persona? Yes, because that was stressful.
Yeah. Having to live two lives and keep up lies.
Now, what bothers me with that, when you come out of that, all the people that you were with in that won't deal with you.
Yeah, it's like being excommunicated from a group.
Yeah. They won't deal with they won't deal with you. They won't even talk about it. I'm like, I'm sitting here like, if I've ever outed somebody, it's because you've done something real dirty to me.
Yeah.
And I mean dirty. I'm not much of a revenge individual, but if you got to really make me feel some type of way to do some shit like that. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Nigga, that's your life. You unhappy doing shit in secret. After you get a nut, this is done. Like that movie Pariah. If you haven't seen Pariah, it's an independent film. I can't remember the girl who was starring it, but it's about a young girl, a young black girl, who's living in a house. Her mother's raising her in a black church.
And she's living in New York.
Living in New York. Her mother is being played by Kim Waynes, the sister of the Waynes. You know, yes, the very funny Waynes. The very funny Kim Waynes. She plays a very serious role of this mother who is trying to raise a young girl who is God-fearing, who is smart, and who will take a man. But this young girl, she doesn't like that. She actually enjoys wearing masculine clothing. So when she leaves home, when she goes to school, she puts on more manly type clothes. Mm-hmm. She puts on a looser shirt, some baggier jeans to look more tomboyish,
and wears a sports bra.
Right, to hide her boobs. But she in the movie, she meets a girl who goes to the same church as her, and they start hanging out together because their moms, you know, her mother makes them, you know, she's a good girl, you know, her mother's the pastor's wife, and blah 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 blah. She'll be good for you. So she hangs out with the girl, but come to find out, the girl's on the low. The girl kisses her, and she's like, "What? You didn't know I was like that?" You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, well, whatever.
So things lead to things.
Things lead to things, touching and feeling. Now, mind you, this is the first time this young black girl who's being raised by this black mother in the black church is experiencing something sexual.
Oh.
So they get up in the morning, and the church girl, you know, the goody girl, who her mother, her black mother, who's raising a young black girl in a black church, who pushed her to hang out with the girl. She's cleaning up her room, and, you know, and the black girl, you know, Pariah's like, you know, bruh, what's up? And she's like, nothing, I just had to clean up. I mean, my parents are coming over. My parents are going to come over something. She was acting real fucking shady or some shit.
Started making up ways to make her leave.
Right. And so Pariah got her shit, and she ran all the way home, and she got home, and she stripped her clothes off, and she grabbed her fake dildo and threw it around the room. She threw her shit around the room, and she cried. She cried, and she cried, and she cried, and she cried, and she cried. And then her mother's talking to her, and she was like, and her mother's trying to talk to her, and she was like, why are you talking to me like that, asking me all these questions? I'm not your husband. Now, mind you, all the while her husband, which is the black girl's father, is working all the time. He's like so done with this bitch. The mother's been so annoying by this time, because, you know, she wants her to be this certain type of way. She wants her to do all this shit. And now he's yelling. She's yelling at the father because, oh, your daughter is running around here like a motherfucking dyke. She says, now this woman is saved, so-called. This woman is a church lady, and she's talking to her husband like that. She's a damn dyke. Your daughter's a damn dyke, and you're going around here cheating and sleeping around, this and that, blase, blase, blah. And then the daughter comes downstairs, and she was like, you're a motherfucking dyke, this and that. Tell your dad. Tell your dad. And she was like, what? And he was like, what? And then she looked at her dad, and then she was like, he was like, tell your mother that you're not a lesbian. And she looked at her dad with the softest eyes and was like, I'm a lesbian, Dad. She told her dad that. Mind you, her mother's in the room still going off. See, I told you she was a fucking dyke, and she beats her ass. Like, her mother starts to wail on her, bruh. So freaking hard.
Now, this type of situation happens to a lot of teenagers or kids, period.
Right. The download epidemic is drilling us from children.
Right. And it's in my opinion, it's especially worse in the black community because it's like black men are forced to fit this mold. Like when I was a kid, I was told you can't cry. It's soft to cry. You're a bitch if you cry. You're a pussy if you cry. You're a faggot if you cry. I was told that stuff. So over time, I've become numb to a lot of things.
No crying, like a barely a cry a year.
But unfortunately, I would be more turned in direction towards rage because I didn't know how to process my emotions. I didn't know how to go through my emotions or realize that they're just emotions and they're feelings, and you shouldn't act on every single feeling you feel.
But we see rage as machismo.
Right. And this happens in every community. I've seen it in the Hispanic community and it's really bad. I've seen it in the black community and it's really bad.
Even in the white community.
Right, in the white community it's really bad too.
White community is the worst.
I've seen times where I've been in Walmart and there'd be a kid who, like, it'd be a little black kid who's crying because he can't get something. He's being a kid. Kids cry. Unfortunately, it'd be a single mother, or it's a mother and a father, and they're saying, shut the fuck up, don't be a faggot, only faggots cry. Some parents are drilling, okay, let me not say some, I'm understating it. Many parents are drilling this homophobic DL pathogen into their children.
Yeah. That's girls' toys. Don't do that. That's for girls. Don't do that. That's for boys.
Right. That pink is a girl's color. Blue is a boy's color.
And the human psyche is, you tell me not to, I do.
Right. Or only boys play video games. I hate hearing that. There are many times where I wanted to have, like, me and a girl would be real friendly conversation, and then I talk about video games and it just plane crashing. And that's terrible that there are certain things that have been genderized.
Yeah.
And a lot of people,
we try to even genderize the down low epidemic.
Right. We also try to genderize transgenderism or transgender people. In my opinion, transgender is a part of transhumanism.
I'm not the human I want to be.
Right.
Just that all stems from how we are raising our children.
Right.
That's coming from our society. That's coming from our media. That's coming from it's weak to be gay,
and it's not.
That's what they tell you. So
my response: have you ever tried taking a dick
in your ass?
I'm just saying. But yeah,
I think in order to rid ourselves of this down low pandemic, we must really get to the root of our sexual problems. And it, with the down low pandemic, it stems from what's okay and what's not okay when it pertains to one's natural gender, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That goes into the whole thing of if you're a top, you have to look masculine. If you're a bottom, you have to be somewhat feminine. If you're a bottom, your ass must be fat. If you're a top, your dick must be huge. If you happen to have both, you must be versatile.
We We as a society have placed so many social constraints upon ourselves that we are choking ourselves and robbing ourselves of some of the most complete and holistic sexual exploration. I think it is most important that we as men and women of Earth know that we are sexual beings, and it is okay to want to experience something with someone that you or your spirit may be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
To not see yourself as demonic or as weak.
Or less than.
That's demonic. That's evil.
The ones who are convincing you so, in my opinion, are demonic or are worshipping an evil entity.
I'm not telling you to come out the closet. What I'm telling you, to live in your whole apartment.
Right.
You understand? You have a whole entire apartment that you can live in. Excuse me. I see a mansion. I see an estate that you are living in within your sexual, spiritual, emotional self that you are holding back because of social constraints. Once again, no one's saying to come out the closet. It's just that who are you letting into your home? Are you letting the right people into the doors? Who are speaking through your windows? Who's coming on your porch and into your backyard? Those are the people that you need to concern yourself with.
Right.
Because if not, then you're not living a full life, and life is about living full, correct?
Correct. Now, I understand the whole thing of it's no one's business. It really is no one else's business. I believe what the message is be comfortable with yourself and explore yourself. And I'm trying to say this without sounding all cliche, because I don't want to sound cliche.
Sometimes cliches are the best.
Let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, but most of all, do it with the people that you can communicate with.
Right.
And if you tell them that you're having trouble communicate with them, and they tend to get frustrated with you, as opposed to stopping for a moment and just taking it in, move forward.
And another thing, if you can't tell someone you're about to marry or you're married to or you're in a relationship with, period, hey, I have this fantasy of such and such and such and such, and your partner or potential partner can't listen with an open mind, open ears, mind, and heart, why should you consider dating them after that point?
I think you should be able to communicate all of that.
Because if you can't, then that's a major issue, and that spawns more deceit. Y'all are going to be lying to each other about small stuff.
Yeah, because you want to be yourself. Most of all, more than anything, we all want to be ourselves. That's what we want to be. And we can say that we are when we're at work, but you're not. I want you to pay attention to who you are when you're at work, who you are when you're with your parents, who you are when you're with your friends. You are not the same you. But most of all, does each place allow you to be a part of you that you enjoy?
A lot of people hate their jobs because they can't be themselves at their jobs. They can't tell someone off who disrespects them blatantly.
You start doing download shit at work.
Right.
Hey, you start doing hateful shit at work.
I tell you one thing. If I hated my job, I started taking excessive breaks. Well, no, I didn't take excessive breaks. I would take really long lunches, and I would steal just about whatever I could. Pencils, pens, stationery. Yeah, I did.
On the down low, it created a pandemic. It created an epidemic.
Yeah. Calling in sick excessively because you just don't want to be there, but using your PTO because it's there. That's down low. Basically, God, my baby mama's here. I'm so fucking stressed out. But this dude's texting me on the phone who he can give me some good head. I'm gonna go just slip out over there, go settle for that, and that'll make me feel better. That's just about the same thing. And another thing, we also treat sex like it's an accessory or some item you can pick up and drop and throw away.
It's a part of your spiritual, emotional self. It's a part of who you are. It is like the moon to the sun, nigga.
Right. And a lot of our views on sex is, oh, I'm going to destroy him. Or sex is good when he or she ends up walking funny.
Or it's pain. I'm like, some pain is pleasure.
But not all. It shouldn't be an uncomfortable process.
Not unless,
it shouldn't just be one person's pleasure.
Unless that is your thing.
Right.
Unless you just enjoy to be put through pain for somebody else's pleasure.
That's another.
Then that's your
that's
thing.
A fetish. That's something entirely different.
Normal, everyday sex should not be painful.
No.
I think if it hurts, you're doing it wrong. Or don't have the right lube.
Yeah.
And with that, class is coming to an end. Go ahead and get your books together. Get your book bags. I'm glad y'all waited till I was done talking. Y'all know me as a teacher. And as always, I will be here every Wednesday at 11:30 on Sex Talk. If you have any topics, you can use the hashtag naked topics. That's hashtag in the number 8 KDTOPICS. Yes. Naked topics. Hashtag naked topics. If you have any topics, I mean, sometimes I can run out. I'm only one person. Well, we're two people. Most of the times, I just come up with most of the shit. His shit is video games, but we just talk together. But if you have any topics, we're trying to get it to where you guys can call in. Because I know a lot of you guys would have something to say, and you guys would be able to chime in and whatnot. But at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself in this class. I hope you learned a little bit about being on the down low in so many ways, right? All right, class. You have a good day. Well, a good evening. I'll see you next week.